you are just so laser focused on the ball, you're not going to give yourself the chance to be able to make a decision in a situation where you might need to do something different than just swing away. And so we do a lot of conversation and drills when it comes to eye work. And then from there, when your eyes are starting to see and sense, peripherally what's going on, from then you start to make decisions. And the questions that we want hitters to start thinking and processing is, how aggressive can I be, or how aggressive should I be? Is this a ball that is coming from kind of over the top of me where I'm not going to be able to get great contact? Is this a long rally? Do I have, what's my block look like? What is the middle serving? And if so, where is she playing defense? Is she playing middle, or is she playing left? And we want our hitters to start thinking about all of these things in practice so it can translate to the games. But those are just the things that we always talk about, is we want the eyes to start determine, your decision making. And then at that point, it comes down to execution. So I do kind of want to share a few drills too that we talk about and use quite a bit. The first one's pretty popular, and I know you've probably seen it and run it before, but it's called trash can, where there's one hitter, right? There's one outside hitter versus a full team of 6. And there's a lib passing and a setter along with the hitter. And the single hitter can call for every single set that they want, right? So we're just throwing free balls over to the DS or the lib, and the hitter's calling for balls. And they've basically, it's 1 versus 6. And they've got to find a way to score, because after every swing, here comes the next ball, next ball, next ball. And the only way that they get out is if they get 5 kills or 7 kills or whatever your number is. And then every time they get a kill, we give them like a 5-second rest. And so that kind of allows them to, reset just like in a game. But what I like so much about this drill is, there's a conditioning aspect to it. But whenever you start to get tired, like if you're hitting the ball out again and again and again, or you're getting blocked a whole bunch, that you have to find a way when you're tired and your body is starting to fail you, you've still got to find a way to score. And I think this directly translates to, a 4-set match or a 5-setter where, you're getting super tired, or it's a hot gym or whatever. And there's some mental toughness that comes in here where you've got to still find a way to score, right? And even this, we like to do an out of system option where we'll take out, it won't necessarily be our setter. We'll put another DS back there, and, we'll toss in a ball, and it's got to come off of, a DS or a platform that's not necessarily in system. We like to be a little bit more generous with the rest and maybe the number if we're out of system here, since it is more challenging. But that's definitely one of our drills that we use for mental toughness. And the other drill that I want to share, and I'll kind of show my little Canva art here, is we call it the tape drill. And I'm not sure if there's a better name for this, but this is one that we like to use. If I can get to it. Okay, so for our tape drill, the reason we call it our tape drill is because we will literally put down strips of tape on the ground. And this is kind of a serve receive drill that, it's super important, obviously, to have serve receive, because we want to try and get our middles involved as much as possible. That's the intent of this drill. But what we'll do is we will lay down some tape, and we'll just say that the X's are the team that are attacking, right? So the tape is going to go on the opposite side of the attacking team. And if a middle executes, they get 2 points. And then if a pin executes, then they get 1 point. Now, what does execution look like, right? This is where our tape comes in. And so we will draw and put this tape kind of down the line like this. And it always looks a little bit different each practice, but more or less, you'll get the idea. And then we'll put some tape here for some deep line. And then we'll play. So essentially on this side, we'll have three across going back here. So we might have some other hitters that are off and ready to go. And on this side, we just have servers, right? So all these kids are off and we just have servers. There's no one playing defense. And so we're just serving at these three kids who are kind of rotating on like three across. And then the objective is we're trying to get 20 in 2 minutes. And so the middle, what they have to do is they have to alternate which sides of these lines that they go after, which I've got a couple of lines in here that are going to make it confusing. I'll kind of reduce it a little bit for you. So the middle, if I'm a middle, the first ball that I get set, I can choose which side I attack from. It either has to be on the left side of this line here, or it has to be on the right side. Basically, we just want to swing away from 6. And then from there, we're trying to alternate. So if the middle swings over here to 5 on the first ball, the next swing out of the middle has to go to 1, or somewhere inside of this line. And every time the middle executes, they get 2 points. And then now, obviously, not perfect passes are going to happen every single time. And so that's generally when our pins get involved. And what they have the ability to do is, I'm going to kind of expand this and rotate a little bit, is our, because this isn't a perfect drawing. I should have recorded this drill. And so I'll just use our outside as an example. If the ball gets set to the left, they can score by one of two ways: either a deep line shot that is in this box, or they have a cut shot that they can score as well. And so whenever we're doing this drill, that we're trying to get to 20 in 2 minutes, but then the hitters, they get gassed because it's just swing after swing after swing. And so what we do is we kind of allow them to rotate in and out however they want. Our girls, they choose to go 1 minute a piece and then flip. We've done some where it's like 30 seconds and flip, or every other swing, but you've got to have your hitters right here ready to go. And so this is a drill also that is just really good for having some intent behind it, right? We're trying to swing to a particular spot on the floor. And